What's up, guys? This is the SkanStrength warm-up. I'm going to demo it for you, so if the microphone sounds bouncy and sweaty, that's just because I'm sweaty and bouncy. The first thing we'll start with is like basically some active mobility work. So you've probably seen these things before, but just getting the kids loose. You'll get down and do inchworms, walk out, and then from here, you're not going to bend your knees. You're just going to tiptoe in until they feel a good stretch in the back of their legs. Walk back out. I usually have them do about 5 of those, then jog back, okay? Or jog to the end if there's a line of kids. That way there's not getting all jumbled up. After inchworms, we'll go into lunge with a twist. So they'll just lunge forward, rotate toward the leg that's forward, switch legs, boom, and do the same thing all the way down, 5 per leg, 10, so 10 total. And then once they get those done, jog down to the other side so the other kids can fall in behind, and then it's nice and organized. After that, we'll go what it's called low shuffle, different than lateral shuffle, which I'll show you in the warm-up too. Basically, it's a groin hip sort of opener. You sink down really low, and I tell the kids, like, keep your chest up, but drag your knuckles if you can. And you're staying low, just chopping your feet, keeping them wide. And the whole idea is just to loosen up the hips, improve their range of motion, their flexibility. And all this stuff too will teach them coordination. And you start with easy and you get tougher. So you do those 3 things right there. Yeah, that's what we got. So inchworms, lateral shuffle, and lunge with a twist. After they do those, we'll move into more movement stuff. Once again, you start slow and build speed into it. There's something I love called a march, which is basically slow motion high knees. High knees, a lot of times people just, it's a dynamic warm-up. Use it, get loose. But it can be useful as a speed mechanics tool to develop the ability to rapidly move your legs, because there's 2 main ways to get faster. 1, be able to push further off the ground, so in a given step you cover more distance, and 2, being able to move your legs faster. So if you're stronger and you can move your legs really fast, that's going to help you become faster. So the mechanics start slow. They're going to start with 1 knee up. Like I said, it's slow motion high knees. So they're going to go left knee up, right arm up, and make sure it's opposite arm, opposite leg. We don't run like this. Big things to look for: the elbows are bent, your hip cheek is where your hand is, and then your face cheek. So cheek to cheek. Notice that the arms aren't straight. You're rotating at the shoulders, okay? So they'll do a march. I like to have cones about 10 yards apart. So they'll do their a march to the first cone, sprint the rest of the way down, or 2 hard steps. So they'll go here, okay, standing tall. Once they get to this cone, 1, 2, and then finish through the line as you'd want to build the discipline and the habits to make sure they're doing everything, finish strong, all that sort of stuff. Because all that stuff accumulates. If you just do a few 5-yard sprints every time you finish up these drills, you have whatever, 30 practices, and you do 2 to 4 of those every time. Like, it accumulates is what I'm saying. Okay, so you could use the warm-up as a speed build-up too. After they go through the A march, it's fresh in their mind. You apply that technique to high knees, okay? So you'll go really fast now. It's the same idea, but you just go fast. And then you sprint 2 steps when you get halfway down, okay? Notice, I'm not trying to get to the cone as fast as I can. I'm trying to get as many reps in as I can as I progress toward the cone. So it's more about speed of legs than distance and how quickly you get there. The main things you're looking for are knees up, parallel to the ground, and the toes are up. So arm action, knees up, toes up, okay? You could be yelling that at them as you teach them what you're talking about. After that, we start going lateral. This one's simple, karaoke. Probably seen this a bunch of times. Once you get to the cone, turn and sprint. Make sure you face the same way each direction. So you go right, and then you want to go left. So you keep your body balanced and you're not just trained to go right. After that, this one's a side shuffle. You're working on speed here, and then you turn 1, 2, and sprint through the line. Once again, if you go left, you want to go right, okay? Once they're done with that, okay, what you'll do is you'll get them on their stomach. So it'll be a sprint. They'll be on their stomach, and then this is fun as coaches. You can kind of trick them a little bit, train their reaction ability. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll get out in front of them and say, hey, when I lift my right leg, that's when you go, okay? And you guys, football, for example, you could pull a ball back, practice that. But when I lift my right leg, okay? So I'll say, go, forget about what I said. Don't, boom, okay? And then you lift your right leg. and that's the only time they go. So that way you're kind of throwing them off, training their ability to react. So when you do that, they'll get up, sprint through the first cone or all the way down, however far you want them to go. And I usually have them do that 2 to 4 times, okay? After they're all done with that, you could add some vertical stuff in and just have them finish off with 3 vertical jumps before they get into their actual practice. Think of the warm-up as dynamic, but also speed training. Once again, you do this stuff, you do it over 3-4 months. Every time you practice, work on those techniques, get those extra reps in for speed work. You're actually gonna be building strength and speed with your team, along with just loosening them up and building mobility and flexibility. So that's what we got for the SkanStrength warm-up.